Check, check. Oh. All right, here we are. There's the bird. I just got here. I got busy doing something, but it's 2 o'clock Eastern. Looks like hundreds of people are watching. And by hundreds, I mean 0. It is Memorial Day after all. I don't know if that's just a U.S. holiday. And not coincidentally, our script today comes all the way from France, which is awesome. Jennifer Macaire is how I would pronounce it. The screenplay is called Horse Passages, based on the book Horse Passages by the author of the same name. So we are going to get started, and you can watch this at your leisure because you're obviously not watching it live. All right, here we go. For the first time watcher, disclaimer, I have not, other than paging forward to make sure there is a script there. These are, of course, my own opinions. You can probably watch previous ones and find out my credentials such as they are. I will read for at least an hour, and if it's a totally awesome script, I'll probably read longer than that. And if things go poorly earlier, we hope that won't happen. Uh-oh, stream will end shortly unless you restart it. Uh-oh, hang on. Oh, no. Start streaming. We may have some streaming problems, so I'm going to start recording this. All right, I've got a backup safety being recorded just in case. Not open widget. Edit. Hold on here. Stream health. Viewers will experience buffering. That's not good. Well, we're going to continue on anyways. Wow, that picture is even bad. Hold on here. I'm not sure what I can do to improve this. What happens if I refresh? See what happens. All right, well, I'm going to read it anyways, and we'll just see what happens. Worst case, I will upload the script, the file when I'm done. So if you're watching, thank you for watching. Here we go. Copyright 2013. All right. Very minor problem. Super minor. The font should be Courier, the same as this. And this obviously is a mistake. That should be up here, so we don't start with a blank page. There should also be a period after your page numbering. Fun fact. Okay, let's just start out with a little more formatting commentary. Exterior, period, dash, forest, dash, night. That is how your slug line should read. Day or night, I am not much, unless it's daybreak or sunset, morning, afternoon, evening, all the people making the movie want to know, and all the person really reading the script wants to know is day or night, and then give us the rest in the description. So looking down a narrow path, that should be in the description. That should not be in the slug line. Unless this is a shooting script, which it clearly isn't. And this, I guess, I mean, I get it. It certainly makes sense, but this is not how you would see it formatted. And dare I say, this is a bold statement, but from all my experiences, this should be page 1, first of all. These are not pages. This is page 1 right here. If a reader who was given a pile of scripts saw this, and this probably sounds cruel, if not unusual, he or she may read the first paragraph, but they may just put it in their pile to read when they have time, which means probably never. Just saying. And part of the reason I say that is because of the formatting, the page numbering, and 9-line first paragraph. 2, 3, maybe 4 lines is plenty. Readers like to see a lot of white space. They like to feel like the movie is moving. All right. 4 should be written out. Around the bend come 4 galloping horses ridden by riders dressed like cowboys. So they're dressed like cowboys, meaning they're not cowboys. All right. If these are going to be characters, they should be capitalized. 2 children, 2 adults. Or you could just say 2 children, a man and a woman. No need to say adults. All right. Passive voice is not what screenplays should contain. It should say, or you could say, and I realize, sorry, I don't know if English is your second language. I don't want to get into any of that because it looks like it's super well written. But that could say, the woman holds a small child on her lap. So in other words, there are 3 children. All right. A ways behind, 3 more horses ridden by cloaked raiders. All right. But somehow get rid of this R right there. At the bend, the 2 front riders, which are the 2 children. So let's just say what it is. I would make this a new paragraph personally right here. And I would make this a new paragraph right here. At the bend, the 2 children turn one way, maybe turn left or turn right. I don't know what they're turning. If it's a path, does it fork right there? We assume it forks. It should be as visual as possible. So just like when you're reading a novel, one of the few places where a novel and a screenplay should be similar. So give us the visuals, turn one way. They come to a fork in the path and they go to the left. Take the left fork or something. All right, they take the other turn. So this makes it sound like a 90-degree turn, which I would assume it's not. The cloaked riders follow them. Everyone is lost from sight. Okay, the visual here is what? This really doesn't need to be here, that sentence. A night bird calls we, sorry to really overdo this first paragraph, heard recently, and I guess I've long thought it and tried to write in this manner, that we pulls the reader out of the story. All you need to say, for example, a night bird calls, period, a desperate scream. I would leave out here, and I would maybe capitalize scream. A night bird calls, period, a desperate scream. We assume it's a human scream, not a bird scream. All right, cut to present day. All right, this is again, I'm just strictly speaking from a screenwriting Bible format, very regimented point of view. This does not work. This does not work because we're in a completely different place. So you've got to set it up. You could say cut to over here, but I'm not a big fan of cut tos because what's the alternative? Unless you're going to dissolve for a passage of time, which you can do. But the less stuff that isn't your story, the better. So what I would say, a night bird calls, period, a desperate scream, exterior, desert, day. The sun rises over the horizon. Carl and Megan, capitalized. Megan, capitalized. Sleep. We already know it's a desert because we've added a slug line. The sun rises above the horizon. Carl and Megan sleep in sleeping bags. All right, something like that. A horse whinnies and the brother, what? Okay, the brother. We assume Carl. Now think about the audience. Will they know that Carl and Megan are brother and sister? Not likely. So we need to identify him. You do, sorry, by name. A horse whinnies, period. Carl sits up suddenly, as if the dream's scream blends with the whinny. How is the horse? How is the horse? How is the audience going to know that? A horse whinnies. Carl sits up in a start or wakes up startled or something. This is a novel right here. The dream scream. This sounds weird, but I always avoid rhyming words because it just kind of makes you chuckle when you read it. All right. A herd of mostly gray horses. Is that important? Think of the production person having to go out and find mostly gray horses. What looks like a narrow curtain of pale mist slowly dropping from the sky. Is it? Does it look like a narrow curtain? Why not just say, I like that imagery, in front of a narrow curtain of pale mist that slowly drops from the sky. Okay. Okay, one, maybe mention this horse up here. A herd of mostly gray horses mill restlessly in front of what looks like a nail. One male white mare. So somehow get rid of the is there. As Carl watches, the curtain grows brighter and begins to sparkle. Ooh, cool. The tethered male whinnies. She pulls against the rope and paws the ground, her tail swishing angrily. Okay, I like that. This is a mistake. This is probably just a formatting thing. There's a triple space there. To me, it looks like your formatting is off. I think these should be over here a little bit more. These feel like it's weighted too far to the left. Let me just check something real quick. Ah, it's a screenplay of mine. Don't read it because it gives away what's going to happen. All right, let's see where I mean, I know mine's formatted correctly. So I believe your formatting is not right. I think it should be over about 5 spaces. I'm pretty sure. This looks pretty right, but this just seems wrong. All right, I won't mention that again. Get up, Megan, we have to go. Why did they start so early? They must be thirsty. It's bone dry here. I hope the next place we hit is greener. Any place will be better than here. So she's obviously have a stutter. I don't know if she would stutter on the word here. Maybe she would. Any place is 2 words. Why did they start so early? Meaning the horse is winning, I suppose. It's bone dry here. Audience knows this. Megan knows this. We don't need to say it. They must be thirsty. I hope the next place we hit is greener. That would be fine. That sentence isn't needed. You could just say she right here because we know it's Megan. Takes a canteen and pours water down her throat. Pours water down her throat instead of taking a drink. Not sure why that. All right, this, I have a feeling you're not using a standard screenwriting software program because it would not let you split sentences over pages. Always end your pages with a period. All right, again, think visually. She empties, she takes a drink until it's empty or something. So you don't need a separate sentence for this, and it's a passive sentence. She puts on her hat and fastens a worn pair of leather chaps around her legs. Do you put chaps anywhere else? You could just say, puts on a pair of leather chaps. She rolls up her sleeping bag. Okay, for some reason there is a parentheses here, close parentheses, which is not needed. I wonder, huh? Well, I hope if anyone's watching, which you probably aren't, um, it appears to be not a good stream, which is unfortunate. Sorry about that. Megan and Carl work together quickly. So this, think visually, we don't know what they're doing. So that sentence isn't needed. Megan and Carl clear up the campsite, saddle 2 horses, untie the white mare who heads through the mist curtain. Maybe period. The mare heads through the mist curtain. One by one, the horses disappear into the mist. Carl is still not mounted. As the last horse vanishes, Megan yells at him. Yells at him being the horse, or yells at Carl? All right, so get rid of this sentence. They quickly clear up, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what Carl's doing here. If he's putting on leather chaps, if he's stuffing his stuff in a backpack, or if she just does that. I like this. Horses disappearing into the mist. That's cool. So is still passive again. Carl remains unmounted. Carl remains, not on his horse or something. As the last horse finishes, hurry, check your girth. Trying to hold on, Boo. Who's Boo? Who's Boo? Is Boo the horse? So as the last horse vanishes, meaning there's no more horses there. So it's not the last horse, it's the last mostly gray horse. So Boo is the name of Carl's horse, I'm assuming. All right, this is incorrect. Parenthetical information needs to be on this line, and if you had some sort of a software, or you could just figure it out and set up maybe macros or something, you would have that. Parenthetical goes on its own line. And this really isn't parenthetical information. This is action/description, so it needs to be out here. Okay, let's go. So, yeah, parenthetical information could be like beat or yelling, screaming, turns. It could be something super simple, but getting on a horse is not parenthetical information. Tightly over their lowered faces and close their eyes. Interior. Ooh, interesting. All right, first of all, should be a period there. Should be day or night here. Interior, I said because it feels like this would still be exterior. Okay, so we already know they're in it because we're in it, so we don't really need to say they enter. A strong wind blows inside the mist curtain, something like that. Light fades to near darkness. Flashes of lightning show nothing but roiling clouds. Period. Okay, this is I love this imagery right here. But there is a sense of falling or moving at incredible speed. So they enter this mist curtain. This is entered in because I wrote a script many years ago that had a mist curtain that separated 2 worlds. And don't steal that idea because I'm still working on it. So, oh no, this is a completely different world. Well, good. That teaches me not to finish my script. So yeah, this is very interesting. I don't know that this. I don't know this. I don't understand how you would get that sense of falling or moving at incredible speed without saying that they fall at incredible speed. They seem to fall. They hang on tightly. Suddenly, a clap of thunder and blinding flashes of light. The horses catapult out onto a huge prairie. Excuse me. So strictly speaking, we all know what catapults do. They send things like that. But I have a feeling if there's a sense of falling that they're dropping out of kind of the clouds, out of the mist, and they go voom and they land on the ground, as opposed to catapult, which would sort of, I picture Monty Python and the Holy Grail when they use that catapult. So maybe revisit that choice of words, unless in fact they are catapulting out. Huge red cliffs. So this is very cool descriptive, but it's all passive. So you don't need to say it's obvious. A completely different world, late evening, lavender sky, deep grass, huge red cliffs in the far distance. Carl and Megan, the horses land. They look around and see a lake with tall gray trees around it. Something like that. Get rid of all the R's and is's. The siblings. So, strictly speaking, this should be Carl and Megan, because not the casting director, but the line producer, somebody, the person reading, has to know who's in this scene, and we can assume they are, but we don't know it because it doesn't say their names anywhere. I know it sounds very sort of academic and proper, but it really should be done. All right. Arrive at the lake. So they're near a lake and then they arrive at their lake. So this should be a new scene, a new slug line, or just later as a slug line. Siblings and the horses arrive at the lake. Now, how many horses are there? Just there two? Or all these horses, the tied up one, the white mare, all the gray ones? We're not sure. I'm assuming there are just the horses they're riding on. The horse... So, I'm not laughing. I'm just smiling out loud. The horses drink, night falls. Picture how long this would take to happen. How much screen time does that require? If the horses drink for 3 or 4 seconds, night falls, meaning do we see the sunset? Do we see it getting darker? The point is, as you know, in a screenplay, this is 1 minute. Basically, top to bottom is 1 minute. So each line, if you count the lines, each of these lines represents roughly a second to 1.25 seconds, somewhere in there. So ask yourself, could this activity happen in a second? Because that's how long it is based on there. You could say later, Carl and Megan arrive on their horses, whatever, at a lake. New paragraph. The horses drink. Period. New paragraph. Night falls. New paragraph. You could do it like that, and that would be closer to the right representation. Tie up the lead mare. Aha, the lead mare. So maybe all their horses are there with them. I would make that clearer up here. All right. Again, she's lighting a fire. How long does that take? How long does it take for Carl to set up a tent? So in a novel, which this is based on a book, so this makes perfect sense, you can say that in a book and the reader can say, okay, lighting a fire. She's gathering sticks, she's striking dust, she's doing that, and it doesn't matter how long it takes in real life. Carl sets up a tent. Oh, that could be a nice little montage. But the way it's written right here, this again takes 1 second, which is probably not accurate. Well, this is a nice place. Do we know where we are? It's interesting that he doesn't say this until here as opposed to way up here. Megan looks at her watch. It is a star watch. What? Sorry, that's not a what of. It's just cool. But I have no idea what a star watch is, and will the audience know that it serves as a communication and location device? Maybe they'll find out, but you can't really tell the reader things that he can't or she can't see, which seems to be the case here. All right, so now we're going to find out where they are. Her throat is knotted up. You might say, this, I know I've read debates about this. If someone stutters, if you put it in their dialogue or you just make a note of it before the person speaks for the first time, because, I don't know, having the actress stutter on these exact lines might be more of a director's decision, unless it's super important that there's certain letters that they stutter on. I am not an authority on the subject. So this is where they are. They were here with their parents. Does he not remember that? Oh, he does remember that. So he doesn't know where they are, but he does remember that they were there with their parents. So this maybe not exactly correct. So this should be a line of action / description, not parenthetical. This, I mean, yeah, I don't know what I would do with that other than put it on its own line. I'm so caked in dust I could grow seeds. Do seeds grow out of dust? I'm so caked in dirt. I'm so dirty I could grow seeds. Back on home planet, it's pouring rain and the storms won't let up for another whole year. Everyone is cooped inside the storm. Everyone's free and wild. I mean, this is interesting, but it doesn't seem like something he would say. I understand he's trying to cheer her up because it says so right here. But again, this could be maybe in a novel. It shouldn't be in a screenplay. Always think visual. Oh my goodness. So now we're getting some backstory. If I sort of chuckle, it's not in a demeaning way, and I apologize if it sounds like that. She's basically, well, she sets him up and then he gives an explanation. But think about, who is he talking to? Star Wars is sometimes faulted for having that scroll at the beginning, but at least it's just in your face, setting it up. It's not trying to hide the fact that it's giving exposition, whereas this, if you picture these two sitting around a campfire and him, who is he talking to? Obviously he's talking to Megan, but Megan knows all of this, so why is he saying this? He's saying it so the audience knows. So somehow this either has to come out naturally in dialogue, which admittedly would be extremely hard unless he's talking to someone who doesn't know what's going on, or it would be a crawl at the beginning or something. Along with herds of horses who seemed to disappear like magic, and became first herders traveling with horses to other worlds. That's how the family was. This is one of them. Even if her parents aren't here, and Sally, Carl, hush. Oh no. Oh, that is a lot of dialogue. I mean, a page and a half, but they're just literally sitting there talking. I won't let them be forgotten. If you can't talk, that's fine. I have words enough for both of us. The raiders came and took them and half our herd as well. Yeah, man, I don't know. Not that I'm in the advice-giving business, but I see what you have to do here. And in a novel, this works relatively fine, or you could describe it. But in a movie, I mean, this would not happen because they wouldn't be talking about things they both already know. That's just dialogue kind of 101. Or maybe 102. I mean, it's super interesting, but needs to be a different way to present it, to make it known. All right, this right here, that's a good bit that maybe could be included someplace. Does Megan not know that they need money? And what does money have to do with discovering a new place? Did they sell the horses? Oh, Mother Earth. Interesting. So again, super interesting, but getting this out, I don't know how you really get this out in a visual standard movie narrative sort of way. I mean, yeah, the dialogue does just not feel real at all. And if she laughs, she's got to laugh down here in description. Do we even know Megan's name yet? Has he mentioned? Oh yeah, well he calls her Megan, calls her Meg, and we find out his name's Carl. That's always tricky of getting their characters' names in because in reality, people don't say each other's name very much. Okay, exterior night. Okay, that's not right. So tell us exterior fine, something, night, glowing moss rise from the grass and flash with the twin moons. Ooh, it's like Tatooine. Or, yeah. I wouldn't, you don't really need this. Fade out. Fade out is typically the end of the screenplay. You could say fade to, you could say dissolve, or you could just leave this out altogether. Okay, exterior, same place, whatever. Morning, daybreak. No, just say day. Mist over the lake. I mean, everything is quiet. Again, not think visual and audio. Mist over the quiet morning lake or something like that. Carl and Megan sit on a log fishing. You don't really need suddenly here because thunder kind of comes that way. A clap of thunder. I would capitalize clap. He leaps, so I would start a new paragraph here. Leaps onto the huge log. They're sitting on a log and now they're sitting on a huge log. Peers behind him. That's something you usually do kind of when you squint. I would just look. He seems reassured. It's all right. It's a big herd. I don't understand what that means. The clap of thunder. The horses make thundering sounds. I don't like strangers. I don't understand that line either, unfortunately. A huge log appears behind them. He seems reassured. He gets down. It's all right. I don't like strangers. Why don't you wait here? I'll go catch Blue and hold him. I hope he gets along well with a new stallion. I have to tie him up. Okay, I'll go catch Blue. I'm sure they'll be nice folk. As long as it's not the Skeeter clan. All right, I very vaguely understand what's going on, but not well enough. I would color myself confused if I saw this scene. I don't really know what they're talking about. Someone's following them. They think it might be the Skeeter clan. But I don't know what they're basing that on. What? They're sitting by the lake fishing. Next thing we know, Carl is putting a halter on the Blue Phantom, and he and Megan watch as a herd of chestnut horses gallop up to the lake. There are 5 brothers with them. Oh, I fear that Yeah, this is not going too well. It just is not really a screenplay at this point because it's formatted sort of like one. Um, but like this right here, as I said, think about a page a minute and think about a second and a half or a second per line. They gallop up to the lake. How long does that take? The horses drink. How long does that take? There are 5 brothers with them. How do we know they're brothers? Do they have names? Apparently, one of them is Luke. I don't know who the other one. Oh, Kevin Stevenson. So 5. You could say 5 brothers, although that's sort of cheating. You could just say Luke, Jason, Boyd, blah 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 blah. Ride 5 of the horses. New paragraph. So this could easily be 3 paragraphs. You know, like stop here, new one, stop here, new one, stop here, new one. Or I would introduce the brothers when we talk about a herd. How big is a herd? I don't know. 5 men, name, ride up on chestnut horses along with several others. They gallop up and stop at the lake, something like that. So again, this is not parenthetical, that's description. Why, it's the cadets. You can let him go. So they thought that Blue might have to fight him. They drink coffee. That's good to know. They know these 5. We now know their names. Yeah, this dialogue does just not feel real. I'm sorry. It's either on the nose or just full of exposition. It's not extremely natural. Why would he say all 4 of the brothers just so the audience knows their name? Sure, he would just turn and say, "Come on over, it's the Cadet twins." The brothers set up their camp. How long would that take? Again, novel works great. Screenplay does not. He's staring appreciatively at her. That's kind of creepy. Yeah, I hate to do this, but there are a lot of structural formatting problems here. I mean, you would not put this in a spec script. I mean, there's no description after it. We see a close-up of Luke's face, but what is he doing? Close-up of Megan, who is very shy, but that's not all in caps because that's not how it works. And then cut. So this could be conveyed just in action/description. He stares appreciatively at Megan. She's shy, yet can't help glancing at him. That's fine, but not like this. No, I wouldn't cut there. You could say later. The group, something sounds. Luke plays the guitar. The boys. The rest sing. Does Luke include them, I guess? So it's a close-up of Megan, and is this describing the close-up? Obviously not, because of what happens here. Yeah, this, again, unless you're directing the script, I would not call any shots at all. I'm going to go up to maybe page 10, and I think that's it. Yeah, this, I don't know. I'm sorry about this, Jennifer, but this is so far from standard screenplay that it just is just making me get caught up in it, and I can't even try to enjoy and get into the story. I like the idea. It's cool. It'd be an interesting book to read, but right now it is not a screenplay, and I don't know anyone in the quote business who would read this as far as I had, unless they were specifically told to, give coverage on this. But it's just so far out of the norm, it just does not work. So I would look at some screenplays. If you haven't, just read a bunch, get some books, etc. Figure out and learn the technical aspects, which I know may seem petty and not important, but if someone won't read your script, they're never going to buy it, and it's never going to get made. And yeah, this is just not at all what a script looks like. I'm just going to read a little bit more and not nitpick at all. Laughter into the tempest. I just want to sleep. I was watching the night till I thought it's nothing. My sister loading is so close on her like savage. Being savages, hey, what just starts to jump us up all you to know that I horrified silence. Interior, what did this screams in their clothes appearance about just little rest of it doesn't speak. Uses a health pack. Oh, he's dead. That's not good. Did she get some close to the boy's camera? You know the rules. Here's another thing that not my pet peeve, but a lot of people, implies that they both know. So again, why is he saying it? I mean, this is pretty interesting. If I could get past all of this formatting technical issues, I might be enjoying this. She's talking to a horse now? Why can't I talk to horses? If you were a horse whisperer, you could. Yeah, this is not right. All right, well, I'm going to stop reading, even though it's only been about 40 minutes or so. The story seems interesting, unlike maybe some other scripts I've read where the dialogue is okay, or formatting is good and everything. The story seems intriguing, but it's just not written like a screenplay yet. The dialogue, for the most part, I guess it feels a lot more novelish than screenplay-ish. Two completely different skill sets that you need to learn if you're going to do both. But I would say 80% of this dialogue does not sound like a movie. It sounds like a novel. And just, as I said, the amount of time that maybe this would happen, how long would that take on screen? I would break this into paragraphs, leaving everything 2 or 3 lines is usually plenty. Like all this, seems good. Yeah, I'm sorry I kept reading because it's interesting. It just needs a lot of work, in my opinion, before it gets to the point where someone would sit down and just read through and not go stumbling over untraditional, non-traditional formatting and that sort of thing. So, and I see it's only 63 pages, which is interesting because that's not a short and it's not a feature. So, if that indeed is the end of the script, then it's 63-minute movie or something. Although, again, the way it's written, maybe it is an hour and a half. Hard to tell. Don't want to ruin it for myself, but I don't know that I'm going to read this whole thing. I'm just looking. A lot of dialogue, a lot of long things here. So, Jennifer, probably not the feedback you were looking for, but that is what I'll say about it. And hopefully the stream will come out on YouTube and you'll at least get something out of this, or maybe someone else who stumbles on this will. I'm going to end it there. I've got a script lined up for next week, it looks like. I don't have it right here in front of me, but it promised to be another interesting time. If you have a script you would like me to look at, consider for this, or I still have that producer who's looking for stuff, although he did tell me he has greenlit one script and has another one that they're circling. So no super immediate, but if you have something you think is in the $1 to $3 million range and is ready to go or darn close to it, please let me know on Facebook or Script Revolution or whatever. And I'll see you again next time. And until we meet again, right on.